Okay, in the vein of too much news and not enough gossip, I have rounded up a couple more gossipy stories. Okay, so we'll do Russell Brand. Who is this child here? Jeannie Mai and a child by the name of Jeezy. I don't know. Amanda Seales, Justin Bieber, and Brian McKnight. I'm going to look up because that's not his name. Who is Jeezy? His Jeezy is the nickname, but that sounds so goofy. Jeezy, I mean, he's a rapper, so I mean, I guess. His name is J. Wayne Jenkins, known as Jeezy. So there's that. So we start, though, with Russell Brand. Russell Brand, the comedian. Okay, so he's been accused of sexual assault allegations and all that horrible stuff that you are... Wait, I need... If I'm a gossip, gotta have gossip tips. So... Russell Brand is a comedian who is accused of sexual assault multiple times, actually. And he was seen riding on the Puff Daddy plane once, too. So, right now, he was previously a Buddhist. And he has now sort of converted to Christianity. And he has been baptized. Or he will be. Because he said he spent several months exploring the Christian faith. And he loved the idea of the dying to the old self and being born again. Because his past is riddled with this and that, like everybody else's, right? And so he loves the idea of being born again, of trying over again, and being a new person, being created anew. Okay. Benefit of the doubt, right? Because he's not been convicted of anything. He's just been accused. And what I want to know is his pursuit of Christianity, I don't want to say legitimate, what's the word I'm looking for? Why is he pursuing Christianity? That'll tell me that. Because if I get the judgment is literally being born again. So, what's that? King of Wands. So there he is. Okay. So why... That's a lot. We'll keep it. What is this? So King of Wands, the Eight of Wands, the King of Pentacles. So he may have spoken to someone. There's the Hermit. That's a good one. The Ten of Cups. There's someone that he would consider family, if you will. This King of Pentacles. That's a person that he would consider family. No, that's the Ten of Pentacles, not Cups. It looked like cups because there were cups, but there's pentacles on it. So it's the Ten of Pentacles. So someone that's family. The Hermit, and mind you, I'm saying family as it doesn't have to be blood relation, even though the Ten of Pentacles is your blood relation, your family tree. But with the King of Pentacles, this person could also represent like a church or non-denominational but very big type thing. But here is some speaking about soul searching, about looking for answers. Eight of Wands is communication, and the Hermit is introspection, looking within, finding the demons and then trying to eradicate such a thing. You have the Page of Cups, so there's that brand new, that naivety. So he's probably been baptized already as of this moment. The Wheel of Fortune, your word of warning, trying to escape from your past, more than likely. And the environment, there's the Five of Wands. There's still some conflict, though. There's still some conflict, buddy. Then there's the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the religion, is the morals. This is your word of solace. So I think he is actually trying to pursue Christianity because of the soul searching. That doesn't mean you're a good person, but and it ends in the Page of Pentacles. Yes, so there's a new doctrine, a new dogma, a new something else to read. But yes, I think he is actually soul searching. And this right now is what he's found. I mean, you can find that in Buddhism. You humans in your religion, I mean, God's not Christian. It's not Buddhist either, so I mean, there's that. Anyway, so Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, J. Wayne Jenkins, is that what I say his name was? Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. So for those who don't know, backstory. Jeannie Mai was on the Style Network a long time ago. And then she was one of them correspondents, like, you know, they'd stand and talk about clothes or something, I don't know. And then she was on a talk show called The Real, where they didn't last that long. They did win an Emmy, though. But they were there, they did like girl talk, you know, they talk about their favorite lipsticks and the first date and what to do and what not to do. And then every now and then they throw in a serious topic, but it was light and bubbly. And there's like 4 or 5 of them on the show, and anyway, she was one of the people. And then that got canceled, but all during that time they would have conversations now and again about family, starting family and children. Jeannie Mai famously says she does not want children. Her mother wants her to have a kid. Her husband at the time wanted a kid. Everybody wanted one but her. And her co-hosts were like, oh, it would be so great, and I can help you babysit. And you know, every now and then they'd come under fire, but like, quit pressuring that girl to try to have a kid, you know, all that. But for the most part, everybody wanted a kid but her. So eventually she divorced her then husband. I forget his name, doesn't matter, but she divorced him. Then he came out, and then he was being ugly in the media, talking about her like a dog and all these different types of things. Because people become who you didn't marry once you become divorced, and that type of thing. So he dogged her out. And then he went and married some other girl, boom, had a kid, right? And so that was thrown in her face and all this type of stuff. So she leaves him, and then she gets with Jeezy. And then they have a kid. But she got married to him, mind you. And so she has a kid with Jeezy. But they are now getting divorced, too. And this divorce is turning, again, ugly. To where he is now being accused of domestic violence. He is being accused of, he was on videotape, walking around with a big giant gun, like he was going to hunt wildebeest. An assault rifle type gun. He's apparently going to sue her for the custody of the kid, even though he probably doesn't want the kid, is what people are speculating. He's just doing it to be nasty. And so this is becoming extremely, extremely, extremely ugly between Jeezy and Jeannie Mai. And so, how is this divorce going to end? Will she have custody? Will they have split custody? Will Jeezy be arrested? Like, what's going to happen? Because he's being accused of domestic violence, but nothing has come of that just yet. So how is this going to work out for Jeezy and Jeannie Mai? The Six of Pentacles. I think somebody's going to have to pay child support. This is paying out. The Ten of Cups. Somebody's going to have to pay child support. Ten of Cups is the happy family, and the Six of Pentacles is paying out. Paying out or receiving, either one, but somebody's going to have to pay out here. The Six of Swords, a very, very slow, painful, rough transition, but eventually the calm water will be reached. The Five of Cups, a lot of regret, loss, sadness, depression. So this is going to be the aftermath for probably both of them involved. He may be in a different stage of it than she is, but it's going to hit him too eventually when he looks around the four walls and anybody in there but him. And then she's going to have a lot of regrets because look who she had a kid with. That man's name keeps popping up. I almost get it every time. Her ex-husband. Anyway, I wonder why that keeps popping up. Freddie, that was his name. Don't, hey, Alicia Keys, don't you go trying to steal nobody, man. He ain't yours no more. The Tower. Tower and the Six of Swords. So the upheaval has just started. And mind you, this has been going on for a little minute, but it's going to get uglier. Because it was supposed to. I don't know if you were two ships that met in the night and you crashed and you thought this was love and kismet instead of just two people not knowing where they were going. But you were not supposed to be together. You were oil and water. This is a no. This is a no. This is a no. This is a no. You are Mentos and Coca-Cola. No. The Three of Cups, there will be a reason for celebration. There's something that will happen, and then there's a reason for celebration afterwards, and it is centered around the regrets and the Six of Pentacles. They're in the middle. So there will be a court battle, and one person actually will come out victorious. So this is not probably going to be a split thing. This is probably going to be one side over the other. There's the Justice, word of warning. This gets uglier. It gets expensive too. Keep that in mind. The King of Pentacles. That's the man in the environment. He may get some kind of win here too, because he is the one surrounded by the Three of Cups and the Justice. Four Swords, retreat, go to your separate corners, and then the Seven of Pentacles, there is assessments. Let me do one card on the King of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, and one card here, Page of Cups. Okay, so right now I think she will get custody of the kid, and then there will be some sort of reassessment that happens because the Page of Cups, which is the kid, comes around the assessment. So over time, we will have a reassessment of where he is currently, because there will be some sort of people involved, like if you had a social worker and a lawyer and a probation officer or something like that. There's some people involved that are helping the assessment along, but it's going to be court ordered. We'll see. You finally had a kid and then did it with the wrong person. Cha. Should have just not had a kid like you didn't want to in the first place. Okay, Amanda Seals. If y'all don't know who she is, I don't know who she is either, technically. She's just been in the news because she did a interview on what's called Club Shay Shay. Shay Shay is Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was a football player for a million years. He now has a show on YouTube and probably a podcast and this and that and this and that. So he's interviewed a few people that have made a lot of headlines over the past few whatevers. And she was probably hoping to be one of them, but she didn't make headlines for the right reasons. Her interview apparently was disastrous, according to her. She was argumentative, according to people who have watched, and Shannon Sharp says he has no ill will towards her, nothing like that. He was trying to give her a platform, but he questioned a few things that she said, and she thought, or she felt, that this isn't the treatment you gave everybody else. You just, you allowed them to, because she was assured this is going to be a safe space. And she said things like, for instance, this is the one that's circling around everywhere, that her teacher, when she was in school, was racist. And she said that this teacher said that Aboriginal people were prehistoric, were cave people. And she said no. She raised her hand as a child and said no, they're literally Aboriginal people alive right now. So no, they were not cavemen. They were not prehistoric and all this type of stuff. And so she said after that happened, her teacher called a conference with her mother and some of the guidance counselors and the principal and the whole thing. And the teacher said that I have a problem with Amanda, and the problem is, this is for reference sake, not the little guy in the corner, but that is Amanda Seals right there, for those who want to know at least what she would look like. So she is African American, and the teacher said, I'm having a problem with Amanda. And they were like, well, is it her grades? She's like, no, she's got top grades. Is it her attendance? No, she's always here. She's always alert. She's got great grades, the whole thing, right? Her problem, the teacher said, according to Amanda, is that she corrects me in front of the kids. That's what the teacher said, according to Amanda's story. And she corrects me in front of the kids. Now, first of all, aside from the story, if you're constantly getting stuff wrong and you teaching other people, then somebody got to correct you. I understand. But when a kid corrects an adult, it becomes a completely different type of thing, because then pride and ego gets in the way, and how dare you. But so Shannon said where he came from, kids didn't do that. They stayed in a kid's place. They didn't correct adults. They didn't even speak when adults were speaking. You definitely didn't. So that's what he was saying. So he said, is it possible? So what he's asking her, is it possible that she was not being racist, she just felt as though she was being disrespected? And then Amanda shut down, basically. She just sat there like, okay. And so that was her interaction during that question. And then another one, she said she's on the spectrum. She said she was diagnosed with autism, which I believe the current diagnosis is on the spectrum. They don't use the word you have autism anymore. So she's basically saying she's on the spectrum. He asked her who diagnosed you, or when did you get diagnosed, and she says, what is today? So she didn't necessarily answer the question. She said, like, what is today? February 3rd? That's when. She diagnosed herself with autism, or being on the spectrum. She was not diagnosed by any clinician, no doctor, no psychiatrist, no nothing. She diagnosed herself with autism, or being on the spectrum. So then people questioned that. And so now she feels as though people are turning on her, and this and that and this and that. However, if you back up, you will see this pattern of combative behavior to where she's being labeled as the angry black woman stereotype, because everywhere she goes, everything is black and everybody don't like her. She was on the reel with Jenny Mai at one point, and all the rest of them. She got thrown off that show too. She was on a show called Insecure, and then she got out of that show, and then every award show she never gets invited. People don't want to hang out with her. People don't want to work with her. People don't want to do this. People don't. And so she was also supposed to be trying to get interviews with a couple of different podcasts, and they said no. Because the risk is not worth the reward. We get her here, she's going to do nothing but argue. We can't question what she says because she just wants to say it and then help you. And another thing that a lot of people are also saying, because her intelligence may be her enemy, because she's very learned, she's very well read, she's got a jillion degrees and all this stuff, so she's very intelligent. So she knows a lot, but yet knows nothing about life at the same time. So, with all that being said, and what is the future of Amanda Seale's career? Because right now she is fearful that black spaces are not going to want to work with her anymore. She says she doesn't care about the other spaces. The black spaces do not want to fool with her anymore. So, what is the future of the career of Amanda Seales? So I think she's got a podcast, and she does a lot of stuff on Instagram, and she's got fans, so it's not like she's just out there. Because Shannon Sharp got a lot of flack for that interview because he seemed to be unprepared for the person he was talking to. He asked her if she was mixed, and she said, no, my mother's from Grenada, or something like that. And he says, oh, so your father's white? She says, no. So he dropped his ball too. But anyway, the Ace of Wands and the Chariot. Well, that's not over. Ace of Wands is a new action, and the Chariot is literally teamwork, but you have to find the people who are willing to work with you. There are no wheels on this car. I just noticed that. So you need some people to kind of help you move forward. That is literally what the Chariot means, too. So, yeah, but the Ace of Wands is an action of some sort. It's new. It's a new idea. So maybe what you need is to get out from, maybe just spitballing here. Maybe get out from in front of the camera and get behind it, and then produce some things, and then have people help you do it. Maybe that's your new calling. I don't know, but it's a new action, and that action takes teamwork. So there's that. The High Priestess, the Ten of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Decision. So here's what we need to do: some reinvention. The Two of Swords is the decision that needs to be made. You cannot be fearful of the decision. You're going to have to just go out there and try. The High Priestess is a card of knowledge, but it's inside. You already have the answer to what to do. You just have to clear out the cobwebs. Get out of the emotions and just trust your instincts, and then go for it. The Ten of Cups and the Temperance, there are people who are going to work for you. There also is some people that may need to have you need to have some mea culpa moments with. Some apologies need to be made. Who that is, I don't know, maybe it's Issa Rae, but there is the Temperance card, the Chariot in the middle, and the Ten of Cups. The Chariot is teamwork, but this is not done through force. This is done through diplomacy, because you cannot force the Chariot forward. You have to talk it forward. The Temperance is a card of reconciliation, building the bridge, moderation, cooperation. And in order to get that cooperation with the Ten of Cups is the happy family, the group of people, not blood relation. You have to have some sort of cooperation and temperance. So in order for this thing to move forward, you're going to have to put the effort in to build that bridge back with somebody or a group of people. So if you think black people are not fooling with you, then those are the people you need to talk to. Your word of warning is the sun. Beware of where you go, because exposure right now is your enemy. The sun is all about exposure. It's all about success and contentment and things of that nature, but when it's in the negative, it's exposure, something you can't hide. So being in front of people right now is not a good thing. High Priestess is not in front. The High Priestess hides in the veil, in the secret, in the knowledge. You have to pay the toll in order to get it. You don't give it away for free. So if people want access to you, then they need to have some sort of payment, whether time, money, information, energy, to get it from you. You don't need to be in the public eye right now. This is another reason why maybe behind the camera is where you should go. In your environment is the Wheel of Fortune. All of this changes in time. Where you go with it is different. You still get to participate. The Two of Swords is a card of it's a stalemate. So you're afraid to move forward. Now, the problem with the Two of Swords is you stand there like that forever, hoping that nothing bad happens. The problem is the Wheel of Fortune tells you time moves on whether you stand there or not. Something is going to happen to you and around you, so you might as well participate. Take the blindfold off, drop your defenses, and participate, because the Wheel of Fortune moves with or without you. And then there's sadness and loss and regret, and so what you have to do in this card is never mind the 3 cups that have fallen over, take solace with the 2 cups that you have. There is still something there. Your career is not over just because a few people said they don't like you. Fine. Build this bridge with whoever it is that you need to build the bridge with in order to get something going in a positive direction. Never mind the past. It's over. Learn from it. Move on. The Wheel of Fortune is also a card of lessons. Stay out of the public eye for right now, because as we know, the 7-day news cycle, this story will become old eventually. And then your cards or your reading ends in the 7 of Cups. Figure it out. The 7 of Cups is a card of confusion, but it's also a card of options. But you need to make decisions. You cannot just wait for things to happen. You have to be more proactive. So you can't wallow in pity. You can't wallow in regret. Move forward, not backwards. Okay. Justin Bieber's fans are concerned after he breaks down in tears on blah 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 blah. Okay, so here's the thing. For those who haven't heard, Puff Diddy Daddy is being accused of sex trafficking and grooming young men and women to be in the industry. One of those people rumored to have been groomed is Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was a wee little lad when he first broke into the industry. Got discovered on YouTube playing the guitar or the drums or something. And when he first was ushered into the industry, pun intended, the people on the left and the right of him were Usher, the singer who performed at the Super Bowl, and Puff Diddy Daddy. Now, Puff Diddy Daddy is one of them people who has what they call the freak-off parties, where you come to the party. The TD Jakes went to the freak-off party too. You come to the party and everybody is being debaucherous and very sinful in all of the many rooms of the house. It's also said that Puff Diddy Daddy has a camera everywhere too, so there's your proof and your blackmail. So there is rumor that there's a video. It's not funny, but it's anyway. Justin Bieber was on the floor or his knees or one of the two. I guess both. In front of another man, and there's a camera in the room, and this video is out there, and it shows Justin getting off the floor with moist lips. Imagination in progress, right? So, this is at one of Puff Diddy Daddy's parties. And so many people have said they basically stole Justin's innocence. They violated him. They groomed him. And I sat back and I said, so how much of me feels sorry for Justin Bieber? And after I went through my different thoughts and opinions, I do feel bad for him. I didn't at first, and here's why. Because when you chase fame and fortune and you find it comes with a cost. The cost may not necessarily be bad, but it comes with the cost. And then there is what I call vacant and light. When you are plugged into vacant, I don't believe in the devil, but when I don't believe a person can sell their soul because it doesn't belong to you necessarily, not to your fleshy body. Your spirit inhabits, and then once the flesh runs out, then the spirit buggers off to do something else. But you can't sell that, okay? You don't even know how to sell such a thing. But you can corrupt thy morals and thy integrity by being plugged into the vacant. Why do I call it vacant? Because there are some people who have a dark, vacant look about them. Puff Diddy Daddy's one of them people for me. There's just some people who just look like there's nothing there. Like they have vacated the premises or sold their soul to something else. And when you plug into the vacant, it gives you what you asked for. But it comes at a very high cost. You have to be vacant as well. You have to be corrupted as well. You have to be used and abused. When you plug into the light, pressed down, shaken together, runneth over type thing. Pressed down means there is no more room. Shaken together means there's no holes. Running over means that you have an abundance thereof. So you don't have to plug into the vacancy to be rich and powerful. You can plug into the light and get what is called for you to have. It may not be riches and glory, but it can be contentment and happiness. So when a person plugs into the vacant like Justin Bieber did, that's what you asked for. So when you are at the freak off party and you get freaked off, then that's what you wanted. You signed up for that thing. But Justin Bieber was a child when he first hooked up with Puff Diddy Daddy and Usher. So you cannot blame a child for chasing a dream that turned out to be the nightmare. What you can blame is his parents who were coaxed into signing their child over to the devil for fame and fortune and houses and cars and boats. So I can't blame him. So yes, I do feel bad for him because this is not what he signed up for. He, as a child, as a naive child, signed up to be a musician. Not a pawn. Not someone to be used and then discarded when he got too old. So I want to know what his relationship is with Puff Diddy Daddy, who is rumored to have groomed and abused this child. What is his relationship with Puff Diddy Daddy? That's it. Somebody laughed at Puff Diddy Daddy. That was his name. Well, that wasn't his name, but he called himself Diddy, and his name was Puff Daddy, so I just Puff Diddy Daddy. He was Brother Love, too, at one point. Tell on yourself. It happens every time. Guilty heart needs no accuser. What is Justin Bieber's relationship with Puff Diddy Daddy? I'm looking for a specific thing, but we'll see if we find it. I think he's scared of him. That's what I personally think, but let's see. What is his relationship with Puff Diddy Daddy? Strength. Strength is a good card. This is overcoming. Strength and the Seven of Swords. Schemes and scams. Strength is a good card, and it's a major, so we'll call it strategy. Strategy, strong strategy. The Six of Wands, celebrity. Page of Swords. Page of Wands. The Sun. Look, Five of Cups, word, warning, regret. The Five of Pentacles, thrown out in the cold. Oh Lord, okay. That's interesting. He's looking for the pentacles in the hole. Can't find them. Again, when you plug into the light, you may not have riches and glory, but you have everything you could possibly need and possibly want. When you chase the vacancy, it comes at a cost. How do you get out of that hole? Meanwhile, everything you needed, you've already thrown away. Ace of Pentacles, word of solace, opportunity. And it ends in the Six of Cups, nostalgia, remember when. They had a great foundation and not so much now. So here's the problem. Now I kind of have to go back to, I guess I can't feel bad for you. He has a regret now that the star is not as bright as it used to be. And this is also why I say there's a difference between a natural rise and an artificial push. Justin Bieber had the artificial push. He was pushed into the starlight without being a star first. He didn't know how to do interviews. He didn't know how to do, well, he's a kid. So he didn't really need to, but he was not groomed to be in the public eye. He was groomed to be desired, so that he could have legions of fans and legions of people at the concerts and buying the tickets and the this and the that. So he was used to gain popularity. He was not propped up to be successful. He was propped up to be used until all the juice was squeezed out of this in particular orange, and then you discarded the package. That's why now he has regrets. It was not like it used to be. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia, remember when. And he had more cups standing at the time than he does now. So he had more. He had more fans, he had more this. He liked this thing. There's the youth and the success. And then there's the youth, or the actions and the messaging and the celebrity. He had it. I mean, it's alluring to you. But he had it for a long time. When he became an adult, too, when you should have known better at that time. But no, he was still in it, and now he has regrets because things are not going the way he wants them to. Not to mention, a lot of people thought you got poisoned. A lot of people thought you got poisoned. Like Jamie Foxx. But anyway. When you plug into the vacancy, this is what you get. So what is his relationship with Puff Diddy Daddy? He has regrets, and he wishes things can go back to the way they were. Now, here's another key. Go back to the way they were when you first met him, or before you met him. I think Both, because both were a simpler time. This is nostalgia. Could be before you met him, when you were literally a child, when life was simpler, and when you had success. Like, remember when it was when stuck in the past? That's what this does too. Stuck in the past. This is a card of regret. Regret is always the past. He is stuck in the past. He longs for the yesterday. It's gone. Who do you want to be now? That's what you got to figure out. Book your reading, JinLinTarot.com. So Brian McKnight, for those who don't know, that is a singer. He has been a singer for the last 724 years. Brian McKnight, apparently, he put on a concert and fans refused to go, apparently. Not just didn't show up, they just said, no, we're not coming to your concert. He got a lot of backlash because he just called his black adult children products of sin. Okay. They don't have a good relationship at all. Apparently he was not the greatest of fathers, and he don't think they were the greatest of children. And so, what I want to know, though, is will this continue to impact his career, or will he come out and make some sort of statement? I think he has. I just don't know what the statement was. But let's see. Will it continue to impact his career? The Wheel of Fortune. There is time, and the Word of Warning, the Two of Swords. There is some blockage. Some people don't forgive. So there's that. Like Chris Brown. He will never have the height he once had now. So it's or once had then. So it's, some people just don't move forward at all. Ace of Swords and the Word of Solace. So you will have some victory. There will be some clarity. Now, mind you, we're not talking he's booking Madison Square Garden. You know, he's still a fantastic singer, phenomenal singer even, but his star is not as bright as it used to be because he was a singer in the early 2000s type thing. And so this is, he still got all the chops, but who cares anymore? People move on. You know, there was a conversation about what is missing from music today. And a lot of the older artists always say the same answer: talent. Talent is what's missing. Because back in the day, you had to know how to sing in order to be a star. You had to be able to just really give it. And I offer a different perspective. I don't think talent is what's missing. Because, mind you, in the 50s and 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, the early 2000s, there were some crappy songs then too. And some crappy singers then too. Crappy songs are not something that young people invented. And you didn't necessarily have to have the greatest of singing voices if you were unique enough. Like a Louis Armstrong is not the same as a Luther Vandross. But you still like both in their own different lanes. And so there could be a difference to your voice. Like a Macy Gray is not the same as a Barbra Streisand. So they don't have the same kind of voice, and they don't need to. You can carve your own lane. Talent is different than a natural singing voice. But what I think is missing from music is exposure of that talent. Talent is still there. There are still people in our day and age right now who can sing anybody under the table, and yet you never see them on the Grammys or the award shows or the soundtracks to the biggest movies. You don't get them there because they don't get the exposure. We would rather push the Justin Bieber than we would the Ruben Studdard or whoever. So, will it be all right for him? I think his career will be fine, as far as it can be. Nine of Cups is how it ends, and so he will get what he wants out of this eventually, because this will be an old story. Time moves on, people will cease to care. Because it's your own family business, whatever. Anyway, that's all I got. So, too much news, not enough gossip. There you go.